Hello everybody, it is Friday, September 1st, and we're getting ready to drive up and over the 201 Forestry Road to Kelowna. It is 6:34 when we are pulling out, and I'm going to reset my odometer so we know exactly how far this road goes. So a couple things I want to point out. This is just my opinion. This is just for information. You should take all of this with a grain of salt. Understand exactly what you're getting into before you head up onto any kind of Forest Service roads. Know your capabilities, whether you're comfortable driving on dirt. I grew up driving on dirt roads, and I head up into these hills regularly, fishing and camping. So this is pretty straightforward for me. But if you have a car that can't make it, and that's up to you to decide, whether you got decent tires, decent shocks, and whether or not you're willing to put up with a few paint chips and possibly cracked windows in your nice new ride, that's on you. So right now we are heading up Carmi. We started off at the Penticton Hospital, as you saw, and this goes up through a residential neighborhood, so take it nice and easy here. So as we get up and out of town, you see we're heading up into these hills. We got quite a climb to make here. And that means there's going to be a lot of these hairpin turns or switchbacks like this one. This is the first on our of many on this trip. Once you get around that first hairpin, you should keep your eyes peeled. There is a big herd of mountain goats that lives around here, and lots of deer. So watch out for wildlife. So a couple of things you want to think about before you head up here. Make sure you've got good tires. So you've got a spare and you know how to change it. There's no gas stations up here, so have a full tank. Be prepared. All right, as we come around that last hairpin, you'll see we're getting close to our first turn. Highways Department's got this marked really well. There's your check for fuel sign. Kelowna, 95 kilometers. We're turning onto the Beaverdale Road here. Lost Moose Campground is up this way. The roads Carmi and Beaverdale are actually named after a couple of old mining towns that were up this way at the turn of the century. This originally was the old wagon trail route to get supplies up to the miners. Just under 10 minutes we come to the end of the pavement. We're about to go over this cattle guard right where the Lost Moose and the Garnet Fire Recreation Site is, interpretive site. And we get started on the dirt road. So as you can see, this looks really good. The Highways Department have been up here with graders and gravel trucks, and they've got this road. It's practically as smooth as pavement right now. There's a lot of traffic up here. Make sure you stay well to your side of the road as you're going up here, because people will drift over the center line. One thing to be aware of, the road is pretty windy going up here. And for a lot of this first stretch, it is right along the edge of a very steep canyon. So keep your eyes on the road. Don't look down. Take it nice and easy. I gotta say, this stretch of the road has night and day improved over even Thursday when I took it last. The Highways Department done a great job smoothing this thing out. All right, we're getting up to the intersection with the 201. Stop sign here. Well marked. 74 kilometers to Kelowna. This time of year, of course, there's no logging up in the woods because of the fire hazards. But if you are driving this later in the year, you can keep your eyes open for big, heavily loaded logging trucks. You can see it's a nice wide road. They've done a great job of taking out the worst of the bumps. Still some loose gravel, still some washboard. So you notice there's small bright yellow signs on the sides of the road with kilometer numbers marked on. Those are what we're referring to. This is kilometer 40. If I'm giving you any measurements, it's not how far we've driven, that's just the measurement along this road. So the road does not stay that straight and wide. Around kilometer 47 or so, we start getting a little more corners. It's a little bumpier, not quite as wide. Lots of places to pull out if you need to. just past kilometer 56, you come to the fork in the road. Very clearly marked here, Kelowna, 55 kilometers. Just gonna stay to the right. So there's a sign for a narrow bridge ahead. But watch out for this. It's only wide enough for one vehicle at a time, so slow right down. You're heading towards Kelowna, heading north. You've got to yield to oncoming traffic. So if someone's coming down the hill, pull over and let them by. Once you get across that bridge, the road changes a bit. It's a lot more narrow, a lot bumpier. Watch out for graders. That's the roughest stretch we did so far. I'm 70 plus kilometers in. Okay, just after kilometer 70A, we come up to this intersection. See a sign says stop ahead. Lots of cones. You're going to turn right at this intersection. You're going to stop and turn right. Some campsites up here. And there we are. We made it all the way to the highway. You see the Ida Bell Lake turnoff and the Kelowna Nordic sign. That's your marker to head back. We're going to turn left. This intersection out onto Highway 33. It is 7:37, so that took us just about 1 hour from leaving Penticton till we hit the highway. I'm just going to switch over to a time lapse here for the rest of the trip down into Rutland. Rolling down the hill into Rutland. 101.4 kilometers from when we set out. It's now 8:01, so that's just under an hour and a half to get us this far. Now, obviously I didn't have a whole lot of traffic in front of me on that road, so your time's going to vary. There's construction going on up there, all kinds of things that could slow you down, so give yourself lots of time. Go up there prepared. Be safe. Have a great drive.